Alright, not only we got the Tachikaze reverse unit on stream, but we actually got a bunch of reverse units for Card of the Days. So let's begin. Alright, we start off with School Punisher Leopold Rivas. Grade 3 Tokyo Power, Excel, and Skillless. Act Vanguard. Once per turn cost, lock one of your Leopold rearguards, and then all your lottery that you mill becomes every single card type until the end of the turn. So basically it's like Isabel, except that this one also counts order because this one has the ability with lottery with order. My only problem with this is that you have to lock a Leopold rearguard. I have no idea why, but for lottery it isn't too bad. But the second skill, Act Vanguard. Once per turn cost, counterblast 1, mill the top card of your deck, and then perform all the abilities below depending on what type of card type it is. If it's a normal unit, you look at top 5 cards of the deck, choose 2 cards from among them and call them to rear guards and then shuffle your deck. If it's a trigger unit until the end of turn, this card gets this ability. Count Vanguard, all your front row units get plus 5k power and this unit gets 1 crit. If it's an order card, you get an imaginary gift Excel. Well, if you use the first skill, you activate all 3 of these abilities. Honestly though, it's not too bad because whatever you mill, you do get some sort of plus out of it. The only thing is that the first skill does require you to lock a Leopold, but what's nice about this compared to the original Leopold is that it's not on place, it's an act, so no need to keep rewriting. So I have to say this is a pretty decent card. Next for Mega Colony, Evil Armor Sovereign Uragiraffa Reverse. Grade 3 Tokyo Power, Protect, and Skillless. Auto Vanguard. Once per turn, when this card attacks a Vanguard, cost counterblast 1, your opponent chooses 1 or more cards from their hand and call it to rearguard as rest. Your opponent's auto abilities do not activate from the call. If the number of called units is less than the number of grade 3 Giafras in your soul, cost lock a rearguard and stand this unit. So basically, once you ride to 2 grade 3 Giafras, you basically forced your opponent to pay a cost for your restand. It's a little slow, but it is a funny thing to think about. And not only that, it combos well with the second skill, where Auto Vanguard. During your turn, when your opponent's rearguard is placed, cost lock a rearguard, all your front row units gives us 15k power into the end of turn. First skill ready forces your opponent to lock, and second skill just basically gives you a huge power boost. And keep in mind, this is not once per turn, and there are more ways to force your opponent to call more stuff during your turn. And trading 1 booster for 15k power up is totally worth it to me. And now to a reverse unit that I did not expect. Spectral Dupe Dragon Reverse. They could have came up with a better name than Dupe. But anyway, it's a grade 3 with 12k power and it's Excel and Skillless. Count Vanguard. During your turn, if you have Spectral Duke Dragon Soul, this card gets plus 10k power and your opponent's Vanguard is grade 3 or greater, crit plus 1. Definitely not bad, and especially since this is corrupted Spectral Duke, he's obviously going to have a restand ability, which will be the second skill. Auto Vanguard. At the end of battle that this unit attack, cost counterblast 1, lock 3 of your rearguards, stand this unit, but during the turn, drive -1. So few ups and downs when it comes to this skill compared to Spectral Duke. The main upside is that you don't need to be repopulating your board every single turn, unlike Spectral Duke, because Spectral Duke straight up retires 3. This one just says lock 3 and that's basically your sacrifice. Now the main downside is that it doesn't get the 4 damage or more bonus that Spectral Duke gets, the one that gets drive +1 instead of the drive -1. And another upside is that, well, you got the first skill that will give you more power on its own compared to original Spectral Duke where it doesn't really get anything without extra support. With the downside is that you're going to lose the 13k base that Spectral Duke has with the Vortimer and Soul. But either way, with these 2 skills it is pretty good, but it has a third skill that makes it even better. Auto Hand. At the end of the battle that your Vanguard attack, if your damage zone has 5 or more cards, cost counterblast 2, lock 3 of your rear guards, and ride this card from hand as stand. This unit cannot activate auto abilities. This is so you can prevent another restand from the second skill. Because if you can activate the auto ability, well, it is possible for you to get the 4 Vanguard attacks with 1 turn. So the idea is that you could either be in Spectral Duke or Spectral Dupe, perform the restand through one of these 2 cards, and then with the Spectral Dupe in hand, after the second Vanguard attack, you would use the Spectral Dupe from hand skill to do your superior ride. But if you do happen to have 5 face-up counterblasts ready, it is possible to do a double superior ride in 1 turn, if you build up those Excel markers anyway. But overall, it's a pretty cool upgrade to Spectral Duke. You do lose the 13k base, which I don't like, but the combos that you can do with this card can be insane. Although I was expecting Ezel to be the reverse unit because Ezel would have been the most fitting one, I am glad to see Spectral Duke again. And now for the Tuesday stream. We got Tachikaze, with the first card being Ancient Dragon Baby Rex. It's been upgraded to a grade 1 with AK power and the skill is auto. When this equipped gauge unit is retired by an Ancient Dragon, cost Soul Blast 1, bind this card, search your deck for one grade 3 card and call it to rear guard and then shuffle your deck. Well, that condition isn't too hard, it's just too bad it is restricted to only Ancient Dragons for that part, but you do have good grade 3 targets to call. And then second skill, auto rear guard. Once per turn, when you drive check a trigger unit, put the top card face down on this card as a equipped gauge for this unit. So basically just like any other regular Ancient Dragon. But overall, this is pretty decent. Next, Ancient Dragon Tyranno Legend. Grade 3 token power, excel, and skills. Auto, when placed on Vanguard or placed by card ability of an Ancient Dragon on rear guard, this card gets plus 10k power, drive plus 1, then cost discard a card from hand, choose a front trigger from your drop zone and put it to the top of your deck. What's this? True Ancient Dragon support? Man, it's been a while since we actually got a card for true Ancient Dragons. Ever since they reintroduced the regular Ancient Dragons, nothing has been connected with the true Ancient Dragons, because they really needed to drive check those front triggers. But anyway, second skill, auto Vanguard rear guard. At the end of battle of this unit attack, cost count blast 1, retire one of your rear guards and draw a card. Keep in mind, it's at the end of the battle, so meaning that you can actually combo with some of your cards, like the Baby Rex to call another grade 3, so this will provide that multi-attack. And then third skill, auto rear guard. Once per turn, when you drive check a trigger unit, you put the top card on your deck face down on this card as a quick gauge. Overall, it is pretty decent. Too bad it is stuck with only front triggers for the first skill, but at least that's true Ancient Dragon support. And that second skill does actually combo with some skills for Tachikaze. And I am glad to see this card back. Finally, Eradication Ancient Dragon Spinodriver Reverse. Grade 3 token power, excel, and skills. Auto, when placed on Vanguard, perform draw a card, choose a card from hand and call it to rear guard. And then you may put the top card of your deck face down on that unit as equipped gauge. But if you have the regular Ancient Dragon Spinodriver in your soul, you can perform this ability 3 times. Just do be careful with this sometimes because that's thinning out your deck by 6 cards. But this skill itself is already very powerful, especially when you ride this on top of regular Spinodriver, where that skill also will be activating, which of course will be thinning out your deck even more. But then to the second skill, Act Vanguard. Once per turn, if your damage zone has 4 or more cards, cost counterblast 1, lock 2 of your rear guards with equipped gauges, and then until the end of the turn, this card gets this ability. Count Vanguard. When you drive check a front trigger, your whole front row with Ancient Dragons get 1 crit until the end of the turn. Oh, you mean this one skill that every true Ancient Dragon has, but the regular Ancient Dragons don't? At least I'm glad that they upped the consistency through Tyranno Legend to put the guaranteed front trigger at the top of the deck. But overall, it is a pretty powerful card, especially when you're trying to give every Ancient Dragon that crit ability. Just remember to be careful when using this on top of regular Spinodriver. So that's it for these reveals. What do you guys think of them? How do you like each of the reverse units for each clan? Leopold Reverse is definitely an upgrade to the original Leopold since it's not on place. My only problem is that it's the Leopold rear guard. When it comes to Giafra, don't underestimate it. Spectral Dupe, I did not expect Spectral Duke to get reverse, but I do like it. And then Spinodriver Reverse, pretty cool. And actual Ancient Dragon support. But on that's it for this, and see y'all next time for Glendios.